We're in session in County Court at Law Number 2, Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence Holmes presiding. First case is cause number 328260. The case is styled the State of Texas versus Terry L. Foley. We have Mr. Terry L. Foley appearing via Zoom. Mr. Foley, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Foley, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Foley, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Foley?
Good, you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking, Mr. Foley. Actually, you're here. You have two attorneys that participated in this case. Your attorney of record is Mr. Terrence Allison. Mr. Allison is appearing in court via Zoom. Mr. Allison, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Judge, thank you.
And also, you had assisting you, Mr. Ryan Matuska. Mr. Matuska, how are you doing?
Morning, y'all.
Good morning. Mr. Foley, I have an information before me that alleges that on or about October 6th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of burglary of a vehicle. Mr. Foley, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Mr. Foley, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Mr. Foley, I also have before me a document that is titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. And on page 2 of this document, Mr. Foley, there are a set of initials on a line. The initials are TF. They're on the line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Mr. Foley, did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
And before I go any further, Mr. Allison, do you waive a record in this case?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Foley, on page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Did you sign this document?
Yes.
And on the next document, Mr. Foley, which is titled the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, there's a signature at the bottom of this document above the line that's titled defendant. Did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
And at the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Foley, did you sign a document out there on paper that is titled the discovery certification?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Foley, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I have just mentioned, did Mr. Ryan Matuska go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Foley, well, state, do we have a, well, state, I have before me state's exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, would you also like to enter state's exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, no, Mr. Let me do this here. Mr. Allison, do you have any objections?
No objection.
Okay, no objections. State's exhibits number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Matuska, you have advised and counseled Mr. Foley. Is there any evidence that he is mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir, Your Honor.
And Mr. Foley, your attorney, Ryan Matuska, as well as your attorney, Mr. Allison, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with the representation of Mr. Ryan Matuska?
It's fine, Your Honor.
And has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Foley, are you satisfied with the representation of Mr. Terrence Allison?
Yes, sir.
Has he given you full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Foley, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
It's 60 days county jail. Mr. Foley has 60 days credit. Court cost to be taxed and retired.
Okay. Mr. Fowler, the state is offering that you serve 60 days in the Jefferson County Jail, but you would not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 60 days. Therefore, you'll be given credit for time served. The court cost in this case is $337, but you would not have to pay the court cost in this case because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court cost will be taxed and retired. Mr. Foley, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
It's fine, sir.
And okay, now, Mr. Foley, do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Foley, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Foley, this will conclude your case. You can follow the bailiff and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
I had it on mute.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
Did we have, there was another guy on that? Oh, the guy named Connor?
He has another one. Come on, hey, I'm waiting, they're talking about something. Steve, they don't mute this, can't hear nothing new. She has a con.
Yeah, it's Con with Allison.
Hey, Your Honor.
Hey, yeah, Mr. Yeah, Porter, what you have?
Mr. Allison has another.
I know, that's what we were just talking about. They want to reset him.
Okay,
Okay.
All right,
all right, so we're gonna send him back.
yeah, send it back.
Okay.
Yeah, they was talking about resetting.
So, just let me in right
Yeah.
He can get up, remember? Go ahead and get in that seat and sit on that bench right there. Get up. Just sit on that bench. Come on. Go sit on that bench. Right here. And you'll be good.
Talk to the judge.
Judge, Mr. Lucian wants to talk to you, but he has not signed a plea.
Mr. Matuska, you say Lucian, or is this Lucian Jones?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, but Mr. Jones, You're represented by your attorney, Ryan Matuska. I cannot talk to you about your case. So at this time, what we'll do, we'll just reset his case.